Hey guys, it's Misha and welcome back to my channel. So I finally saw the Barbie movie. I know that it's been out for quite some time and I'm going to tell you what I think. Before we begin though, please make sure you are subscribed and have hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. So obviously, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about the plot because in case you haven't seen the movie, you won't know what I'm saying. So it starts off with Barbie. She's in Barbie world, everything is perfect. It was really cool to see a movie that was colorful because we haven't seen that for a while. This Barbie world is very diverse. We have fat Barbie, wheelchair Barbie, we have pregnant Barbie who was discontinued, I believe, and oh, there's a trans Barbie. So yeah, all sorts of Barbies. Ken is played by Ryan Gosling. Barbie's played by Margot Robbie. We're also serenaded by the wonderful and talented Lizzo in the beginning of the Barbie movie, which was great. And we soon see that this is a matriarchy. So the president is a woman, all of the architects and doctors and everyone in power is a woman or a Barbie, right? However, all of the Kens are kind of just there. So the Kens just hope and pray that Barbie will notice them. They're very irrelevant and stupid, especially the main Ken, who is childlike and naive, much like all the men in this movie. So there's that. Then the jokes start. The theater was packed. There were kids, which I didn't expect. This movie's PG-13, and I don't think children should really go see it, like young kids. I don't think this is an appropriate movie for many reasons. The most obvious reason being that this is a bunch of feminist, woke propaganda, but also it has some dark themes. I mean, Barbie has an existential crisis. She thinks about death. All women are miserable. I don't know why you would take your 10-year-old daughter to see it, right? Like, I don't know why I saw so many 8 to 10-year-old little girls at the theater. I mean, I know why, it's Barbie, but I just don't think that's the best idea. So the jokes start, as I said, and it was very awkward. No one was laughing at the jokes. I didn't find the jokes funny. One example I can think of is when Ken is at the beach, and beach is like his thing, right? And he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna beach you off," to another Ken. Get it? Beach you off. He says this for like 10 times. Like, okay, you said it once, maybe you can hope you'll get a chuckle from one person in the theater. It just felt like it went on for 10 minutes. He just says it over and over again. One Ken to another. It's like, oh, okay, it's not funny. They just keep saying it. It's like, okay. After that disaster, they have this dance party, and Barbie suddenly starts thinking about death. It comes out of nowhere. Oh my God, poor Barbie. And now Margot Robbie, Barbie has to go to Weird Barbie, which is played by Kate McKinnon. And Weird Barbie is, her hair is all cut up and she has marker on her face because the child that was playing with Weird Barbie was playing too hard with Weird Barbie. And I actually thought that was clever to include a Weird Barbie because that's how I used to play with most of my Barbies. So I thought that was kind of funny. And Weird Barbie tells her, listen, you have to either pick the high heel and live in ignorance and think that, Barbie has fixed all of the problems in the real world when it comes to gender inequality, or pick the Birkenstock and realize, no, actually all women are miserable because men are evil. And Barbie, of course, picks the Birkenstock. She goes to the real world where she is immediately harassed by men. And she goes, I wrote down a line. She says she feels an undertone of violence with how men are viewing her. Ken, on the other hand, loves it. He loves the attention, but because this is the patriarchy, this is the real world, this is terrible for all women, so Barbie's suffering. And she also says she needs to find more feminine energy. So she goes to the construction workers, expecting them to be all women, like in the Barbie world. But alas, it's all men, and they're all catcalling her, to which Barbie replies, "Oh, but we don't have genitals." Haha. It's funny, it's hilarious. Right, so then they leave. Ken is slowly realizing this is an amazing place because men rule the world here. And the boss that he meets, he says, we still do patriarchy, but we hide it well. Women are so oppressed, blah, 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 over and over and over again. Oh, and it was at this point that the man sitting next to us got up and left, and I thought he went to the bathroom or something, but he just never returned, so I think he had enough at that point of the Barbie movie. While Barbie goes to try and find the child that's playing with her because that's what's causing all these problems, she finds this girl, Sasha, who she thinks is the girl playing with her. And basically, Sasha is already a modern-day woke feminist who is miserable. Sasha's a tween, she's young, she's angsty, and she says, Barbie, you ruined everything for women, right? She talks about sexualized capitalism and how Barbie set the feminist movement back, and she's just really upset with Barbie. She even calls her a fascist towards the end, which was, great. So Barbie's upset, Barbie's crying, reality challenged is what Sasha says. I don't know if she was being serious then, I have no words, but I'm hoping that that was a joke, right? Making, like, poking fun at woke culture. That's what I thought it was. Then we see the business meeting at Mattel, and of course the CEO is a man, and all of the workers, all of the employees are men, which is just horrible. So we have this one guy who says, oh, well, I'm a man with no power. Does that make me a woman? Ha! Yeah. It's so exhausting, the victim mindset. And it's teaching the young girls in this theater that, see, haha, women don't have power in the real world. I'm sorry, those are the cards you've been dealt with. You are doomed to be oppressed forever. Sorry about that. I mean, that's horrible. That's horrible, especially for me, because I know how that feels, being a woke feminist and just thinking you are incredibly oppressed. It's teaching the young girls that women are powerless in the real world. And then we have Will Ferrell, who I didn't find any of his jokes funny, but what's new? He is, constantly trying to be funny and telling Barbie she has to go back in the box. And again, showing how all of the men are idiots, because there's this scene where Barbie's like running away from them and she jumps over the door, or the revolving thing that they have to get through to catch Barbie, but they're so silly, they're so stupid, the poor men. Oh, and they don't realize that they can just jump over it. Barbie does. And I understand that this movie is trying to be silly and, funny, whatever, but you cannot deny, for the people claiming that, oh, this is just poking fun at everybody. No, like, it's obviously portraying men as childlike. They're just all idiots. They're all idiots. And all the women, all of them are competent, beautiful, intelligent, mature, and all of the men are stupid. Sasha said that everybody hates women. Women hate women. Men hate women. Like, everybody hates women. And I'm just sitting there, like, I genuinely felt bad for her character, who was obviously sexist, right? Internalized misogyny. And she just hates women, and you can tell how upset she is and how much anger she has. And I feel like it's actually a good representation of modern day feminists. And then some people were upset about why everyone likes Ken, his character, because at least he's funny, like, he's naive, What is Barbie doing? She's crying half the movie, she's having mental breakdowns, and that's kind of funny because this movie's supposed to be about Barbie, but everybody ended up liking Ken. So then Sasha and her mom and Barbie return to the Barbie world, and plot twist, the woman playing with Barbie was actually the mom. So they return, and oh my goodness, Ken got there first and he brainwashed all the Barbies into being slaves. So he has established the patriarchy. But it begs the question, all of the Barbies were so smart. Why were they brainwashed so easily? When the one guy, who was an idiot, by the way, the rest of the movie, he comes and he says, oh guys, actually you should all be my slaves. And they're just like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. What? I thought they were geniuses, and I thought all the Kens were idiots. It doesn't make sense. By the way, they made them genuinely happy to be the servants to the Kens. So if you're trying to make a feminist movie, I guess they didn't think this through. Why would you make the Barbies actually happier in this world where they don't even have to think and they give up their careers to be servants? They're called helpful decorations. Ken is dressed as a pimp the entire time. The one part I did laugh at, though, the other Kens, they were dancing and they had this like ballet dance thing that they did, which was so silly that it was actually very funny. I laughed at that. So Barbie's having another mental breakdown and she's crying and she's saying, oh, you either have to be considered weird because you're a feminist baddie, or you're brainwashed because you think that women now have rights and can, be happy. No, so you're either brainwashed or you're weird. There's no in between, she says. And then the mom starts her speech very abruptly too. Like, everything stops and she just starts a speech about feminism, about how, oh, you have to be thin but not too thin. All of the Barbies are like, yeah, you go girl, that's how it is, that's the struggle. Oh yeah, she says it is literally impossible to be a woman. By the way, Amy Schumer said she didn't want to play Barbie because the movie wasn't feminist enough. If this wasn't feminist enough, I don't know what could have made it more feminist other than Amy Schumer being in the movie. Because to me, this just felt like, when you were very young, you would do like boys versus girls, like, oh, who's better? Girls are better. No, boys are better. Like, young children would do things like this, right? That's what this movie felt like, but with actual feminist talking points. So then the Barbies come up with this master plan to play dumb and get the men to fall for their trap, because apparently all men love a damsel in distress and also stupid women, so they're going to pretend to be stupid. Although, by that same logic, men would love the modern day feminist, but I don't think anybody can stand to be around them for more than a second because they're just exhausting. But anyways, that's their plan, and they also say, oh yeah, we're gonna play on their petty jealousy is what they say, and I'm just wondering, yeah, okay, women don't get jealous, right? It's just the men that get jealous. Sure. So that's what they do, and of course it works. And now, oh, and then the Kens, like, they fight with the other Kens, and then at the end, Barbie actually sits with Ken and has a conversation, and she says, you know what, Ken, I kind of get your point, you feel left out, not every night has to be girls' night. So then I'm wondering, oh, maybe we'll get them talking about how the matriarchy isn't perfect either, but no. Instead, we get Barbie talking to Ruth forever. It felt like this went on and on and on about how, again, it's hard being a woman or something like that. And then this montage starts with Billie Eilish playing with moms and their daughters playing with Barbies, which is cute, but like, it has nothing to do with the feminist talking points you were just, you know, hammering in the entire movie. It was just so out of place and random. It's like, okay, what am I watching right now? And it just went on and on and on. And Barbie decides to go into the real world. She picks the Birkenstock. But that doesn't mean she can be a girl boss yet. She has to change everything about her because she can't be feminine and still be a girl boss. She, you know, changes her outfit. No more pink, no more glamour. So now I guess she's girl boss Barbie. So yeah, she has to change everything about herself to be successful. Good message again. And that's the end of the movie. I thought it was a waste of time, a waste of money. I didn't like it. I'd probably give it like a 3. And yeah, that's what I think. I've had bad luck with the movies I've seen in general recently. I saw the new Mission Impossible movie, The Dead Reckoning. I have waited for this movie for so long because I'm usually a big fan of the Mission Impossible movies. They're like my favorite. And this just wasn't that good. Like, it wasn't horrible, but the characters, the acting was odd. Like, they would just stop everything and explain the plot, and then they would finish each other's sentences. And it was just so weird. And of course, you know, the stunts were good as always. Ethan and his character. Benji, I love that character. If they kill him in the next movie, I will be very pissed. But then I also saw Insidious, which I'm usually a fan of as well. The Red Door, which was probably the worst horror movie I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of horror movies. I love horror movies. This was so bad. Like, if you want to see a movie where you're laughing because of how bad it is, then go see this movie. The makeup looks like Halloween makeup. It looks cheap. It's terrible. I can't even tell you what it's about because I don't remember because it was so confusing. So that was horrible. If you guys have seen any good movies recently, please let me know because I don't know what's going on. However, if you liked the Barbie movie, you'll probably like this new Snow White movie coming out because that's also apparently going to be super feminist and she's not going to be saved by the prince. The 7 dwarfs are canceled, so I guess it'll be the 7 people because the dwarfs were offensive. So that's exciting, right? Get ready for that.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
That's all for today's video, guys. If you like the Barbie movie, please comment below why, and also make sure you are subscribed and hit the notification bell, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.